test us with tests, but the finals are never final because they never prepare us for the biggest test, which is survival. And what I suggest is fairly outlandish, so I do not expect everyone to understand this. That was taken from Suli Breaks over 3 years ago. Today, I catch up with the spoken word artist and find out how he feels about society now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Mr. Suli Breaks.
I'm still searching for the meaning of life because the Oxford Dictionary definition betrayed me, convinced me that life could be categorized into a series of sentences. Maybe that works for prisoners, but I always wanted to be free. Free like the sun in the sky.
How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. What about you?
I'm not too bad, man. I'm not too bad. Rude Boys Don't Fall in Love. Let's get into that. That's the latest one that you've released out on YouTube.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to ask you, I just wanted to know what was going through your mind when you was writing this?
So I just got married recently, innit?
Yeah.
Like 6 months. So I kind of I'm trying to write from perspectives that I'm feeling now, you know, and things that matter to me rather than, you know, I always, just trying to keep it as current as possible. Just getting married, that's a barrage of emotions, you know what I mean? So I wrote a lot of stuff that fit into that context of marriage and all the scenarios I was facing. Then I guess as a result of that was just one of the pieces that came from it, you know, just the trajectory of being a young kid who never thought, well, obviously you thought the moment was going to come, but was never aware how it was going to come. You just experiencing it. Yeah, and that's kind of where it came from.
Okay, cool. I've always wanted to know, like, I've watched majority of your YouTube videos, and the way you articulate yourself is amazing. I just wanted to say, like, how do you set up your writing up a poem? What's your formula, and is there one?
I don't know, it's so mad. I guess it depends on the nature of the inspiration.
Yeah.
That very much dictates the style of the poem, you know what I mean? It's like, if the inspiration is something that I'm quite aggressive and angry about, there's never much emphasis on like how it's going to rhyme and how this stuff is just a barrage of just like thoughts and emotion, you know what I mean? So I don't have a specific formula or style. It just really depends, and I prefer that idea. I feel like if you watch my stuff, you may notice a pattern in it as how I've grown to start writing and stuff. But I honestly couldn't tell you the specific formula. If you wrote a poem though, and you were like, you want to do this, I could dissect it and be like, this may not work as well.
Okay.
This part would work a lot better, but my own side, I guess it's a lot of it's innate. I never written like a manual on how exactly I do it.
Are you good at critiquing your own work, or do you let other people do it for you?
I think you can only critique your own work to a certain point, because there's a point where you can't see past I put so much hours into this looked like this before, now it looks like that. You know, I think there's always a point where you can't critique past, because you're critiquing on the basis of everything that you had before. So there's always a point where you have to give it to someone who's completely neutral, doesn't care how much work you've put into it, and just sees that as an independent product. And I think so I can critique up to a certain point, but there is a point where I have to show it to like my boy or my wife and be like, what do you think of this, you know?
Okay, cool. How do you feel on expanding your own poetry? Would you include, let's say, a music element or a monologue in a sense?
I was so caught up maybe like a year or two ago about including like music and making it like, but now I'm kind of like, not really. I want to keep it what it is. I want to stick to what I'm good at. Monologue, I guess, I think there's always a kind of monologue element within it. And I feel like I can get better at that aspect, but I feel like I literally kind of want to keep it as authentic as it is. That's what I'm good at. You know? It's always this, I was telling someone the other day, there's always this assumption that when you get to the peak of who you are as poetry, then you have to go into music, you know? So you've seen lots of artists do it, but I'm like, I love music, but I don't have to contribute by becoming a musician, you know what I mean? It's not always, so I'm just trying to like, just keep on doing it the way that I want to do it, you know? And I feel like just seeing a lot of success, I feel like a couple of years ago, there was a taboo in the grime scene whereby once you get to a certain level, you needed like to make a pop song, you know what I mean? And I feel like it's the same kind of like thing with me having to go into music. I kind of want to keep it to the way as authentic as possible and just go it from there, because I feel like there is an opportunity for it to grow, and I can take it there if I just keep on getting better at what I'm doing rather than spreading myself thin.
Notes from Ill Street. Shot that in the dark at night time. I just wanted to say, are you still aiming for the goals that you had for in the past? If so, what have you done to achieve them? And if not, how has your goals changed?
I think I'm still aiming for the same goals, you know what I mean? I think by trying to achieve them, I've always just been consistent. I've always kept growing and expanding, you know, learning new things and diversifying my influences, and creating more environments for me to create in, you know what I mean? Creating more mindsets and, you know, that I'm developing, you know. That's what I think, that's what I've always done to go towards my goals. I feel like there's been times when I've been distracted from my goals, thinking I want this, I want that, but there's always been this retraction to, that's not what I started out for, you know, this is what I want. Whenever I've just honed in on those goals, I've always managed to find success. I've always wanted to be the difference maker in the culture of our artistry. I've always wanted to be the difference maker in, like, I don't want to be like everybody else. I want to be what I am, and I want to show people that you can do this and you can bag it. You can find as much success as everybody finds in your respective realm, you know. So I feel like the goals hasn't changed. I've been distracted from them from time to time, but in all honesty, like, it's still the same initial goal when I started. That's always come back to.
How do you? Well, you seem like you always say stay well grounded. How do you keep that going? How do you, like, obviously throughout the years that you've been obviously posting up YouTube videos, exploring, touring other different unis, and obviously going to speak here and there, and even being in Israel as well? How do you still stay level-headed and stay grounded and not let anything that you've experienced kind of falter or alter your perception?
To be honest, I don't. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I'm not level-headed because think about it. Like, I'll be in like India, and I'll be like in Japan, and I'll be like all over in Australia, and I'm like, wow, like people coming out to see me, and I'm just a kid from Wood Green. You know what I mean? So sometimes it does become overwhelming, and there is times where like you do get to a point where you're like, yeah, you know, I'm that guy, and you know, I think it's good to have the confidence, but there's a thin line between that and the arrogance, isn't it? Yeah. But I feel like because the people I have around me, they consistently make sure, like you know, my wife, I've been with her since I started, you know, and my boys, so it's kind of like we consistently make sure that I don't have the chance to get over ahead of myself, you know. I mean, I don't get a chance to be someone that I'm not. And to be honest, it's refreshing to be grounded, because when you're from a perspective of being grounded, you're like, there's an appreciation, you know. Whereas when you're on this pedestal, then you're always looking above the pedestal, like, where am I going next? And there's always this frustration. And whereas when you're grounded, you're like, oh, you know, oh shit, we've done a lot for this little bit of time. Let's see what more we can do and take it further, you know. Okay, cool. A quote that I kind of stolen from your YouTube videos. I will not let an exam result decide my fate. Everything that you said in that particular YouTube video, it just seems like society is a contradiction in a sense. In saying that, it just shows how powerful propaganda is. And they've been using propaganda for a long time. So my question is to you now that since you've made that video, do you feel like society has changed and has people got the message? I feel like there's definitely more awareness. Maybe just because me making that video has introduced me to people who are a lot more aware of the circumstance and the situation, because they gravitated towards me because they're like-minded, maybe. But I feel like I've been put in positions and I've gone to different parts of the world, and I've seen that the mentality is shifting to what I grew up with. I feel like as a generation, more awareness is coming. And that comes from like connectivity, the growth of social media, the growth of like all these different mediums in which we can connect. But I definitely feel like awareness is growing, or maybe it's just that I'm being exposed to more, because when I was young, we were restricted to our environment. You know, the internet wasn't as big as it was now, so we were restricted to like, what my mum thinks, I have to stick to that. What my next door neighbor thinks, you know what I mean? But now we're in a space whereby it's like we're all connecting and we're sharing our own ideas. So I feel like, in my personal opinion, I feel like the awareness is raising. Is there a time limit?
Yeah, there's a time limit.
Yeah, I've got this already. Come on. I don't know. It's about a guy who owns a barbershop, and the barbershop's on the street, and it's like horror. I don't know how versed you are. That's the thing. It's easy for me to describe. It's like a horror. It's a very popular actor. The main leads in a very popular Disney franchise about pirates in the Caribbean.
Johnny Depp?
Yeah, it's about, but you got to name a film that he's in. In
a barbershop.
Yeah.
Edward Scissorhands?
Nah, it's another one.
I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
I just don't know the name. I
knew you wouldn't know the name because a lot of people ain't watched it.
Sweeney Todd?
Yes.
Yeah. Alright, cool. Next one.
Okay, it's a poet, yeah?
Yeah.
A famous poet.
Yeah.
Most famous poet ever to come out of this country.
This country?
Yeah.
Shakespeare?
Yeah, and then it's a movie about him. So what's it called? About him and the girl.
Shakespeare in Love?
Yeah.
I think we got that one. Hey, that wraps it up, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And keep it locked and don't go nowhere, man. Seriously.
Because if girls were made from sugar and spice and everything nice, then she was made from sugar and spice and everything twice. But you see, my boy once got